Bonsai, I'm the Cobra Kai kid, and season 3 revolved a lot around Kreese's past. We found out a lot of things about him, such as how he became a soldier in the Vietnam War, and we also know that he had a girlfriend during that time named Betsy. Now, for a lot of viewers, seeing these flashbacks of Kreese with his girlfriend Betsy may have come as a surprise. But if you've been following me here on Cobra Kai Kid since February of 2019, I knew that Betsy was gonna be in season 3. I knew that she was Kreese's girlfriend, and I knew that Kreese would leave her to go fight in the Vietnam War. And if you've been following me here on the channel, you probably know where I'm gonna get at, but for all the new viewers, here is how I knew that Betsy would appear in Cobra Kai season 3 almost a year ago. And to explain this, here's a clip from a video I made back in July of 2020 called Who is Betsy? Cobra Kai season 3 Theory. The clip you're about to see comes from a video that I released 6 months ago. So here it is. Now, IDW Publishing has released a 4-part Cobra Kai comic series that takes place during the Karate Kid and shows the events from Johnny's perspective. Now, I've been a huge fan of these comics, and it's really cool to see Johnny's perspective and some new scenes that we've never seen before. However, there's been nothing really that new that's actually surprised me or really made me think about the future with Cobra Kai. However, when I got to the 3rd issue, there was something that caught my attention right away. Turns out, Kreese has a girlfriend.
If kicks get chicks, then this must be your lucky day. I think you're Cobra kinda cute. If Cobra Kai is our love, then Cobra Kai never dies. Do you know karate? Because your body's kicking.
Now, this is revealed to us in a never-before-seen dialogue between Johnny and Kreese, and I'm gonna read you the excerpt right now. The tournament is almost upon us, gentlemen. Our skills can only be tested and sharpened in fires of combat. Pain purifies. Point, flying chop. Finish him. We do not train to be merciful here. How many times do I have to say that? Dismissed. Not you, Mr. Lawrence. Fall back. Just when the hell was that? Don't tell me. Still having problems with that girl? Well, yeah, I tried to assert my dominance over her like you said, and she punched me. You let a girl punch you? That's it. You've let her become a distraction. Listen, I learned this one a long time ago. Before I shipped out to Nam, I met this sweet gal named Betsy. I had it bad and she gave it good, but it had to end. Uncle Sam needed me to defend democracy, and I'd return to her a hero. Her little red envelopes kept me going during long nights in the bush until... Trust me, son, just forget the girl. I think 60 push-ups will help you start. Give them to me. Yes, sensei. Well, there it is. Now, the fact that I got this theory right, that Betsy was in the comic book series and then appeared in Cobra Kai Season 3 after is absolutely amazing. And no, I'm not trying to boast, oh, I got it right, but this is amazing because that means when we get other Cobra Kai content in the future, such as more video games and books and comics, it could tie into future seasons just like this did. This just goes to show that the writers are involved in anything that's named Cobra Kai. Everything we saw in the flashback in the comic, we also saw in season 3. Kreese and Betsy in the diner, which is probably the same diner where they met. Kreese saying goodbye to Betsy and going on the bus to take him into the military. And Kreese fighting in the war, or for what he calls Uncle Sam. In the comic, he even states, her little red envelopes kept me going during long nights in the bush. And the envelope that the sergeant handed to Captain Turner that basically stated that Betsy was dead was also the color red. And in the comic, when Kreese was telling Johnny about Betsy, he wasn't able to finish the story and he just told Johnny to forget the girl, meaning Allie. After that, it was never addressed and we had no idea why Kreese didn't finish his story. But now with the release of Season 3, we finally know. In the Season 3 finale, before Captain Turner and Kreese fight to the death, Captain Turner tells Kreese that Betsy died. We can see the pain and devastation on Kreese's face when he finds out that Betsy died, and we know that she meant a lot to him. So now we know the real reason that Kreese couldn't finish his story and tell Johnny about Betsy is because it's too painful for him to talk about because of how the story ends. And the story obviously ends with her death. So even up to the point of the Karate Kid all these years later, and from the way they're portraying it, it looks like Betsy was Kreese's one and only love. And who knows, I think things would have been a lot different if Betsy were still alive, because Kreese would be happy and he wouldn't be needing to run a karate dojo where he's choking young kids and getting revenge on old men. He would have a life with Betsy and he would be happy. As we saw in those flashbacks of Kreese, he was very happy, but because she was gone, he had nothing left except to resort to the no mercy lessons that Captain Turner taught him. And the fact that Betsy appeared in the comic series and then in Cobra Kai season 3 is a great sign for the future of Cobra Kai, not just as a TV show, but as a franchise. It's really expanding into something more than the Karate Kid movies and the show Cobra Kai. It's really expanding into this whole universe that I'm very excited to explore and to uncover right here on the channel. And for those of you who haven't seen the full Who is Betsy Cobra Kai season 3 video back from 6 months ago, I'm gonna show it to you guys right now. You'll be able to see that I got some stuff right and I got some stuff wrong, but here it is. As we all know, John Kreese is the owner of Cobra Kai Dojo, and from the minute we meet him in Karate Kid, his intentions and his personality is revealed to us all there and then. Strike first, strike hard, no mercy. He even goes on to threaten an old man and a young child. And also, when his best student, who's also probably the closest thing to a son he's ever had, loses a karate tournament, he goes on to choke him. And then he hires even a crazier person to get revenge on the people who beat him in the tournament. At no point at all in any of the 3 Karate Kid movies do we see why Kreese is this angry guy. Now, despite them not really going into Johnny's backstory in the Karate Kid movies and understanding why he is such a bully, we do know that he's been training under Kreese, and as we all know, father figures have a very important role in the Karate Kid universe. As Miyagi would say,
no such thing bad student, only bad teacher. Teacher say, student do.
Now, what's so great about Cobra Kai is that it takes these two-dimensional villains from the old movies and really tries to flesh out these characters so we see a different side of them that expands to the original character from the original movies. In Cobra Kai Season 2, they started to flesh out Kreese's backstory. On several occasions when talking to Johnny, Kreese would bring up his military background. Now, while he didn't get into specifics, he kept repeating that he's been through a lot of stuff. Very vague, of course, but with Kreese having ownership of Cobra Kai, I think we're gonna really focus on him a lot more this season and really flesh out his character and his backstory. So while I think we're going to find out a lot about his military background and how that affected him to become the person he is today, I think there's something more to it. I think there's another reason why Kreese is the Kreese we know. Now, IDW Publishing has released a 4-part Cobra Kai comic series that takes place during the Karate Kid and shows the events from Johnny's perspective. Now, I've been a huge fan of these comics, and it's really cool to see Johnny's perspective and some new scenes that we've never seen before. However, there's been nothing really that new that's actually surprised me or really made me think about the future with Cobra Kai. However, when I got to the 3rd issue, there was something that caught my attention right away. Turns out, Kreese has a girlfriend.
If kicks get chicks, then this must be your lucky day. I think you're Cobra kinda cute. If Cobra Kai is our love, then Cobra Kai never dies. Do you know karate? Because your body's kicking.
Now, this is revealed to us in a never-before-seen dialogue between Johnny and Kreese, and I'm gonna read you the excerpt right now. The tournament is almost upon us, gentlemen. Our skills can only be tested and sharpened in fires of combat. Pain purifies. Point, flying chop, finish him. We do not train to be merciful here. How many times do I have to say that? Dismissed. Not you, Mr. Lawrence. Fall back. Just when the hell was that? Don't tell me. Still having problems with that girl? Well, yeah, I tried to assert my dominance over her like you said, and she punched me. You let a girl punch you? That's it. You've let her become a distraction. Listen, I learned this one a long time ago. Before I shipped out to Nam, I met this sweet gal named Betsy. I had it bad and she gave it good. but it had to end. Uncle Sam needed me to defend democracy, and I'd return to her a hero. Her little red envelopes kept me going during long nights in the bush until... Trust me, son, just forget the girl. I think 60 push-ups will help you start. Give them to me! Yes, sensei. So this is official confirmation that not too long before the Karate Kid, Kreese actually did have a girlfriend. However, the reason why I'm so intrigued by this whole scene is not just because we found out who Kreese's girlfriend was, but when Kreese is telling the story, he doesn't finish it. He's telling Johnny that Allie became a distraction and that he learned that same lesson a while back with Betsy. Before Kreese went to Vietnam to fight in the war, he fell in love with a girl named Betsy. Obviously, he was forced to leave her, but she sent him letters that helped him to keep going. He states, "Her little red envelopes kept me going during long nights in the bush, until..." And then he doesn't finish. Instead of finishing the story and the point he was trying to make, he tells Johnny to just forget the girl. Now, if Kreese told the whole story about what happened with Betsy, it would have been awesome. But by Kreese not being able to finish a story, it shows that something happened with him and Betsy that he can't even bring himself to tell Johnny about. This is an obvious setup, and unfortunately we did not get a payoff for this in the next comic book issue, which was also the final one, but I didn't think we were going to get it there. I think we're going to get the payoff in Cobra Kai Season 3. Now, this may be a long shot because nothing from these comics have implied that it might tie into Cobra Kai Season 3 or any other future seasons. However, this is the one main thing that is completely new and that I think is completely relevant to the future, and especially Season 3 if we're going to go into Kreese's backstory. There's a famous saying that love can make you do crazy things. Now, I still think we're going to find out that something happened to Kreese while he was in war that made him into this strike first, strike hard, no mercy guy. But I also think there's more to it. I think the Kreese persona that we see in Karate Kid is caused by Betsy. But something I think would be very interesting is if the next time Kreese saw Betsy, he was so affected and so traumatized from the war that maybe he accidentally lashed out at her. He was experiencing PTSD and something triggered an action where he lashed out and he accidentally hit her or said something, and that's how they ended up splitting up. And it's really not his fault because he was experiencing things and he couldn't control his emotions, but at the same time it caused all this anger to come out because he was in love with this girl and he accidentally hurt her, which was something he never wanted to do, but being in the war, being in that environment made him do it. Or while Kreese was at war, she either broke up with him or fell in love with another man. If you add all these things together, it really shows a devastating backstory for Kreese, and it really explains why he's this guy who's so tough and aggressive and who really doesn't show love for anyone. Maybe Kreese used to show emotion, he used to love, he used to have compassion, but by doing those things, he cost himself the things that he actually loved, and now he has this mindset where he can't show compassion, he can't love, and if he does, that's considered weakness. Maybe he showed compassion for Betsy, or he showed mercy in the war, and when those things ended up backfiring on him, he found out that those things that he thought he was doing right were really his weaknesses. So now he opens up Cobra Kai Dojo and teaches others that weakness is not an option, that defeat does not exist in this dojo, to strike first, strike hard, no mercy, and never let the enemy attack. And yes, Kreese is definitely not teaching the right things to his students, but maybe he's trying to do what he thinks is best for them. He doesn't want his students to relive the same mistakes that he made, so he's trying to teach them the things that he wishes he would have learned when he made those mistakes. Now, once again, this is not confirmation that Betsy is going to be in Cobra Kai Season 3. This all came from the comic, and I'm speculating, but I think that there is no point in setting something goofing up that you are not going to pay off, and I really believe that season 3 will be the payoff. We're definitely getting Kreese backstory, and I think Betsy would be a perfect tie-in, and if she actually is in Cobra Kai season 3, I would be so happy. That would be so awesome to actually have our first tie-in from the comic to the show, and that would be cool because it would also leave the door open for more tie-ins. When we get more books, more comics, we could explore those and see how they tie into the future of Cobra Kai if this ends up being the case. There you have it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to hit that subscribe button and karate chop the notification bell to never miss a new Cobra Kai Kid video. Hit that like button and share the video with your fellow Cobras and Miyagi-Dos. I'll see you all next time on Cobra Kai Kid, and until then, remember, Cobra Kai never dies.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I've had worse.